Hermine strengthens as it moves into the Atlantic. Dangerous storm surge expected along the coast from Virginia to New Jersey. Satellite imagery indicates that Hermine has lost tropical characteristics and is now a post-tropical cyclone. At 11 a.m., the center of post-tropical cyclone Hermine was located just offshore of the North Carolina Outer Banks near latitude 36.1 north, longitude 75.2 west. Hermine is moving toward the east-northeast near 15 miles per hour, 24 kilometers per hour. A turn toward the northeast and a decrease in forward speed are expected by tonight, followed by a slow northward motion through early Monday. On the forecast track, the center of Hermine will move away from the North Carolina coast and meander offshore of the Delmarva Peninsula Sunday night and early Monday. Maximum sustained winds are near 65 miles per hour, 100 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next 24 hours, and Hermine is expected to be near hurricane intensity on Sunday. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 205 miles from the center. A National Ocean Service station at the Duck Pier in North Carolina recently reported a sustained wind of 58 miles per hour, 94 kilometers per hour, and a wind gust of 73 miles per hour, 117 kilometers per hour. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, recently reported a sustained wind of 44 miles per hour, 70 kilometers per hour, and a wind gust of 55 miles per hour, 89 kilometers per hour. The estimated minimum central pressure is 993 millibars, 29.33 inches. Hermine expected to move over the Atlantic soon. New information. Changes to watches and warnings. None. Current watches and warnings. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for southern Fairfield, southern New Haven, southern Middlesex, southern New London, Hudson, eastern Essex, eastern Union, southern Westchester, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island, Brooklyn, northwestern Suffolk, northeastern Suffolk, southwestern Suffolk, southeastern Suffolk, northern Queens, northern Nassau, southern Queens and southern Nassau. Storm information, about 400 miles south-southwest of New York City, New York, or about 460 miles southwest of Montauk Point, New York, 35.4 north, 76.5 west. Storm intensity 60 miles per hour. Movement east-northeast or 60 degrees at 21 miles per hour. Situation overview. Tropical storm Hermine is forecast to move slowly northeast away from the mid-Atlantic coast today. The storm is then expected to drift north-northeast, while gradually intensifying tonight through early next week, before gradually picking up pace as it slowly weakens and tracks southeast of Long Island and Cape Cod during the middle of next week. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for all of Long Island and the 5 boroughs of New York City, for southern Westchester County, Hudson and eastern Essex and Union counties in northeast New Jersey, and all of coastal Connecticut. Sustained tropical storm force winds are possible in these areas. Tropical storm force gusts are possible farther inland. Moderate coastal flooding is likely and major coastal flooding possible around the times of high tide from Sunday onward. Battering surf causing severe erosion and washovers, and dangerous rip currents can also be expected this weekend through early next week. Rainfall of up to 1 1/2 inches, with locally higher amounts as possible, depending on the track of the system. Higher amounts may be possible if Hermine tracks farther north. Precautionary and preparedness actions. Evacuations. If ordered to evacuate, leave as soon as practical with the destination in mind. Gas up your vehicle well ahead of time. Be sure that you take all essential materials from your emergency supplies kit. Let others know where you are going and when you intend to arrive. If you are exceptionally vulnerable to wind or water hazards from tropical storms, consider voluntary evacuation, especially if being officially recommended. Relocate to a predetermined shelter or safe destination. Other preparedness information. Now is the time to check your emergency plan and take necessary actions to secure your home or business. Deliberate efforts should be underway to protect life and property. Ensure that your emergency supplies kit is stocked and ready. When making safety and preparedness decisions, do not focus on the exact forecast track, as there are inherent forecast uncertainties which must be taken into account. If you live in a place particularly vulnerable to flooding, such as near the ocean, or in a low-lying or poor drainage area, plan to move to safe shelter on higher ground. Always heed the advice of local officials and comply with any orders that are issued. Do not needlessly jeopardize your life or the lives of others. When securing your property, outside preparation should be conducted as soon as possible before conditions deteriorate. The onset of strong gusty winds and heavy rain can cause certain preparedness activities to become unsafe. Be sure to let friends and other family members know of your intentions and whereabouts for surviving the storm. For emergency purposes, have someone located away from the threatened area serve as your point of contact. Share vital contact information with others. Keep cell phones handy and well charged. Be a good Samaritan and check on those who may not be fully aware of the situation or who are unable to make personal preparations. Visitors to the area should become familiar with nearby surroundings. If you are a visitor, know the name of the city or county in which you are located and where it is relative to current watches and warnings. If staying at a hotel, ask the management staff about their on-site disaster plan. Listen for evacuation orders, especially pertaining to area visitors. Closely monitor weather radio or other local news outlets for official storm information. Listen for possible changes to the forecast. Additional sources of information. For information on appropriate preparations, see ready.gov. For information on creating an emergency plan, see jetgamblin.org. For additional disaster preparedness information, see redcross.org. Next update. The next local statement will be issued by the National Weather Service in New York around 12 p.m. Tropical storm Hermine expected to produce significant coastal flooding and strong winds near the Delaware and New Jersey coasts this Labor Day weekend. NEW information. Changes to watches and warnings. Non-current watches and warnings. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for Newcastle, Kent, inland Sussex, Delaware beaches, western Monmouth, eastern Monmouth, Salem, Ocean, Cumberland, Atlantic, Cape May, Atlantic coastal Cape May, coastal Atlantic, coastal Ocean and southeastern Burlington. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Middlesex. Situation overview. Tropical storm Hermine is currently near the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Hermine will move northeastward and off the mid-Atlantic coast through tonight. The storm is then expected to meander off the Delmarva and New Jersey coast Sunday and Monday before it gradually moves northeastward and away from the area during the middle of next week. A tropical storm warning is in effect for all of Delaware and coastal New Jersey from Cape May to Sandy Hook and along Delaware Bay. This warning also includes the coastal waters and all of Delaware Bay. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Middlesex County in New Jersey. Sustained tropical storm force winds are expected over land areas near the Atlantic coast and the shore of Delaware Bay. There is a potential for tropical storm force wind gusts farther inland across southern and central New Jersey and possibly extending back west into the I-95 corridor. Minor to moderate coastal flooding is likely around the times of high tide starting this evening. Moderate coastal flooding is likely late Sunday through Monday. Pockets of major coastal flooding is possible with the high tide cycle on Sunday night and Monday late morning, particularly along the Delaware and southern New Jersey coast including Back Bays, as well as the southern shore of the Delaware Bay. There is a potential for more than 2 inches of rainfall. Some areas near the coast in Delaware and southern New Jersey may receive 3 to 4 inches with locally higher amounts, which could lead to flooding. The heaviest rain is expected this afternoon in southern Delaware and late Sunday through early Monday elsewhere along the coast. Hazardous season dangerously rough surf can be expected this holiday weekend and possibly into the middle of next week. A higher current risk can be expected up at beaches during this time. Significant beach erosion is expected with heavy surf breaching to /precautionary and preparedness actions. Other preparedness information. Now is the time to bring to completion all preparations to protect life and property in accordance with your emergency plan. Outside preparations should be wrapped up as soon as possible before weather conditions completely deteriorate. Any remaining evacuations and relocations should be expedited before the onset of tropical storm force wind. If you are relocating to safe shelter, leave as early as possible. If heading to a community shelter, become familiar with the shelter rules before arrival, especially if you have special needs or own a pet. Take essential items with you from your emergency supplies kit. Check the latest weather forecast before departing. Failure to adequately shelter may result in serious injury or loss of life. Always heed the advice of local officials and comply with any orders that are issued. Remember, during the storm 911 emergency services may not be able to immediately respond if conditions are unsafe. faster in your decision-making. Check in with your emergency points of contact among family, friends, and workmates. Inform them of your status and well-being. Let them know how you intend to ride out the storm, and when you plan to check in again. If you are a visitor and still in the area, listen for the name of the city or town in which you are staying within local news updates. Be sure you know the name of the county in which it resides. Pay attention for instructions from local authorities. Closely monitor no weather radio or other local news outlets for official storm information. Be ready to adapt to possible changes to the forecast. Additional sources of information. For information on appropriate preparations, see ready.gov. For information on creating an emergency plan, see jetgamblin.org. For additional disaster preparedness information, see redcross.org. Next update. The next local statement will be issued by the National Weather Service in Mount Holly, New Jersey around noon, or sooner if conditions warrant. Tropical storm watch remains in effect. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for the following areas in New York, Manhattan, Bronx, Northern Queens, Southern Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Northern Nassau, Southern Nassau, Northwest Suffolk, Southwest Suffolk, Southern Westchester, Northeast Suffolk and Southeast Suffolk, and the following areas in New Jersey, Hudson, Eastern Union and Eastern Essex, and the following areas in Connecticut, Southern Fairfield, Southern New Haven, Southern Middlesex and Southern New London. Tropical storm watch remains in effect. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for the following area in New Jersey, Middlesex. Tropical storm warning in effect. A tropical storm watch has been upgraded to a tropical storm warning for the following areas in New York, Manhattan, Bronx, Northern Queens, Southern Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Northern Nassau, Southern Nassau, Northwest Suffolk, Southwest Suffolk, Southern Westchester, Northeast Suffolk and Southeast Suffolk, and the following areas in New Jersey, Hudson, Eastern Union and Eastern Essex, and the following areas in Connecticut, Southern Fairfield, Southern New Haven, Southern Middlesex and Southern New London. Tropical storm warning remains in effect. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for the following areas in New Jersey, Eastern Monmouth and Western Monmouth. Here is the latest weather map discussion.